AFC up a touchdown. Joe, Jason, Booger, and Lisa with you here in Orlando. To the end zone, incomplete, as Mahomes was looking for Jarvis Landry. Remember, he is mic'd up.
I need the safeties to stop double-teaming Tyreek so I can back in the Patriots game.
That's what I was going to say to you, Boog. You were wondering why he didn't get the ball more in that AFC Championship, because Bill Belichick was on the other side. And I'm telling you, I could see that in the Super Bowl. Bill Belichick, he put Gilmore on Sammy Watkins, and then he double-teamed Tyreek Hill. I could see them putting Gilmore on Robert Woods for the Rams, and then double-teaming Brandon Cooks.
What about Tyreek Hill on the handoff? I mean, we saw them being creative all season long, man.
They're down in 10. Underneath, and right at that line to make that time, as coming out of the backfield was Melvin Gordon, met by Bobby Wagner of the Seahawks.
You know, and everyone made a big deal about the AFC Championship game and Patrick Mahomes not getting an opportunity to touch the football. I understand offense sells, but an old coach once told me, Whit, there are three parts of teams: offense, defense, and special teams. And the last time I checked, Kansas City's defense was on the field, and they had a chance to stop Tom Brady, and they just couldn't do it.
First and goal here. Gordon. As they're claiming a fumble as the NFC came away with it, but the same forward progress stopped.
The run is forward progress to stop. Second down.
And I agree with you, Boog. I think that rule is right. You know, if you go down and score a touchdown, and that's ball game. And that's part of it. When you see Tom Brady come out there and they win that toss, it's Patrick Mahomes is on the bench. And so I think if you go down and score, it should be a ball game. And that's why Tom Brady is the GOAT. That's why, you know, that it comes down to that coin toss. And I think Patrick Mahomes is just hoping that they were able to get a stop so they can have a chance.
And I'll say this. You could talk about, hey, he didn't touch the ball in overtime. You could talk about the NFC with the pass interference. That was as entertaining of a championship day of action as you will ever see from start to finish. Just to sit back and take in those two formation here on second and goal. As he goes to his teammate, the upback, Anthony Sherman, for a touchdown. The fullback, Sherman, from the Chiefs, in his 8th season out of UConn, his first Pro Bowl, getting the score. And give him room to spike it home.
He was usually the lead blocker. He didn't get many touches down there. But, boy, look at those feet. Just keep driving, baby. Just keep driving. Finds a way to get in the end zone. And, you know, that's what Mahomes is all about, man. He loves his teammates. They love playing for him. And, wow.
Anthony Sherman, who has one career rushing touchdown. A big moment to celebrate here in his first Pro Bowl. Jason Myers, the AFC kicker, had an outstanding season for the New York Jets. 14-0. AFC led by Patrick Mahomes.
They're going to call this on Bobby Wagner. We experienced this in our Monday night game where he just jumps over.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Leaping. The try is good. The penalty being enforced on the kickoff on the receiving team.
Bobby can't help himself. Did it against the Vikings when the playoffs was on the line. Does it here in the Pro Bowl as well.
Good hops, brother. Good hops. You're not getting away from it.
Now, for the first time ever, it's coming to you from Nashville, April 25th through the 27th. Looking forward to the draft. Going to be a very interesting year with some of these prospects. Cardinals and Niners, Raiders are loaded with picks, and Nick Bosa, the defensive end out of Ohio State. Some interesting quarterbacks. Go middle of first round.
Gun double right, Java right.
You watched the Senior Bowl yesterday. A guy I was impressed with from Missouri, Drew Lock. Looked really good yesterday, Ted.
I'll tell you, the defensive linemen overall, especially defensive ends this year with this crop for the draft, look outstanding. As that AFC defensive line continues to get after it, that was Calais Campbell. Lisa.
Thank you, Tess. Patrick, your first minutes in a Pro Bowl, you get 2 touchdowns. Just when you were a kid thinking about playing in the NFL, how did your dreams measure up to this season, this first season as a starter that you've had?
It doesn't. Honestly, I mean, you dream about it, until you're actually here and you're just enjoying being a part of this process, the Pro Bowl, the season, and being around a lot of great people. I mean, you really can't measure that whenever you're a little kid.
What's been the coolest part about being here all week?
The coolest part is just being around all these guys. I mean, everybody's going for the same goal. Everybody knows take care of each other in the game, but sometimes we're competitive and we want to win. And so, I mean, there's a lot of great dudes, and I'm excited for it.
Thank you. Enjoy your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Always nice to visit with Mahomes. Jamal Adams dropping what could have been an interception there, but the AFC defense will get off the field again, and NFC will be punting.
You know, Jamal is a guy who has a lot of range back there at safety. And during this Pro Bowl week, he's been one of the most outspoken, energizing, fun guys for all the fans to be around. He has really been enjoying himself this week.
Yeah, I don't think Pat the Patriot mascot agrees with you there. I don't know if you saw the clip that went viral. It was all over SportsCenter when Adams took it into his own hands. The Patriot mascot was being booed, and Adams says, you know what, I'm just going to go tackle the guy. That didn't go over too well with everybody. He's an intense guy, though.
Loves football, too, Tess. He
sure does. Great player. Here's his teammate Andre Roberts on the punt return off the Michael Dixon punt. And that means we get to now see Andrew Luck. His 4th Pro Bowl, top front runner to win the NFL Comeback Player of the Year after missing all of 2017 after shoulder surgery. 39 touchdown passes, second only to Patrick Mahomes.
It's incredible the year that he had. And the thing that amazes me that they started out 1-5. So he entered the season, people didn't really know if he was going to be able to play at a high level, if the shoulder was going to hold up. Then they go 1-5. Frank Reich kind of gets the backdoor job. They do not blink. It says a lot about him. Completed 67% of his passes.
And his first pass of this whole goes incomplete as he was trying to connect with Hill.
You know, I think the combination in Indy with Chris Ballard, Frank Reich, Andrew Luck, the way they played this year after starting 1-5 with, the future for them is so bright. If I had a little coin to bet on a team, a little stock that's going up, I bet it on the Indianapolis Colts. I like what they're doing.
And a big reason why is because his left guard, Quentin Nelson. They protected him. They kept him upright. That was a priority for the Colts. And, boy, did they do it.
Yeah.
And Andrews just, he had a smile on his face. We called that playoff game. He's stretching the field. He's a smart player, getting the ball out of his hands.
Here's Luck on second down. That came out a little funny. Quentin Nelson, we just got a glimpse of him there, named AP All-Pro, the rookie out of Notre Dame, 6th overall. I mean, this guy is such a mauler when you watch him play.
Just a physical player, and when they drafted him, they wanted to build this team up the middle. Linebacker Darius Leonard, Quentin Nelson, the guard. The physicality and the toughness they wanted to bring to this football team. They're building it the right way in Indy, and Quentin Nelson, so infectious. The whole offensive line became more physical when he got there.
Solid, Eric. Second out. Flight 70. What's that?
Here's Andrew on 3rd and 10. As that ball is intercepted. That's Kyle Fuller, the Bears corner, who was tied for the NFL lead with 7 interceptions this year.
You just saw that in cut. Kind of ran the route for Juju Smith-Schuster. He had inside leverage. That's always hard when you're playing with guys, you know, you don't have a ton of experience. They're celebrating down there in the end zone right now.
I'm just wondering, when did the new thing become, anytime you get a defensive turnover, we just run to the end zone and take a picture? Like, let's just pose for the photo.
Little swag. Little swag.
I mean,
you and Sapp and Brooks and Lynch wouldn't have been doing that?
I done went to the bench and got some water, man. They run 50 yards to go take the mock photo, man.
Here's Russ back to business as he connects out to the 45-yard line with George Kittle. George Kittle with over 1,300 receiving yards this year. That led all tight ends this season. He hit some big plays, too. This guy was downfield.
It was a huge year for him. You know, I think early on people were like, okay, they're beat up. They're not going to have this type of season. And he never gave up. I mean, he is a really good football player. He understands Kyle Shanahan's system. He runs underneath the play action. It's an art. There's an art to it as a tight end to play in that system. He's physical as a tight end, not only in the passing game, but as a run blocker as well.
George Kittle is a guy who grew up in the Midwest. Father was a football player. Father was a great athlete. Moved to Norman, Oklahoma in 2010. Dad was on the staff down there at OU. Spent most of his childhood, though, in Iowa. Dreamed of playing for the Hawkeyes. Was skinny, was grossly under-recruited, but then did get a scholarship to Iowa at the last possible moment on National Signing Day. His fiancée, Claire, they have a lot to celebrate. Future is bright for Mr. Kittle.
And I want somebody to look at me the way Mr. Kittle looked at Jason Witten when he came in the production meeting. I have never seen anybody stare at someone. I mean, you talk about the googly eyes. I'm like, is this his hero? Witt, I think he's got a crush on you, man.
Well, I tell you what, he's playing the game in the position the right way, man. He may have, you know what, when he called me Mr. Witten, we don't need that.
Hey, that's when you know you're feeling old now.
That's
Welcome
right.
to retirement, my friend.
I know.
When they start calling you Mr.
I'll tell you what, I wish I could have had some of that run after catch this guy had when I was playing. It was incredible. You look at that year, I mean, 1,000-yard receiving for a tight end is incredible. And then he did it with 3 different quarterbacks. You know, and so it says a lot about who he is, how he plays. And you were talking about it earlier, about Adams. He loves football. And that's a great trait for a young player.
There's the Aussie Michael Dixon punting away, directional, trying to keep it away as he dribbles it inside the 10. Nice job there. Yeah, lots to like about George Kittle. 88 catches on the season. 14-0 lead for the...
One guy short from being able to expose that defense a little bit.
And there's James Conner as he's going to reverse action. Andrew Luck's going to get out of the way of Akeem Hicks. And they're going to blow the whistle as Jenkins was able to catch up to James Conner. Well, Steelers fans will not want to see that. Not what you want out of a Pro Bowl as Juju Smith-Schuster limps off to the bench. This is what happened at the end of this play. And that's what becomes a concern when it comes to tackling and, of course, the wet conditions. And a little bit chilly here as well today.
Yeah, you never want to see that happen in an all-star game. And, you know, what a year he had in Pittsburgh. And I mean, I love his spirit, how he plays, what he brings to the Pittsburgh team, and hopefully he'll be okay.
22 years, 1 month old, so the youngest player in NFL history to have a 100-catch season. Finished with 111 catches. 2nd and 17. Anthony Sherman getting his name called a good bit today. Had the 1-yard touchdown earlier.
How about that? He's coming to play now.
Sherman saying, feed me, baby, just feed me.
And I can assure you, none of these NFC players want to tackle this guy in open space here today.
He's 242 pounds.
I got the over on 255 right now.
That's right. Well, it's been a long week at the hotel. A lot of socializing when you're at the Pro Bowl. I'll tell you, the camaraderie when you're around these players all week long. They just love being together, being here, getting to know each other, celebrating the end of a great year. Here's Luck now on 1st down. And as he tried to go to the near side to Tyreek Hill.
You know, guys, you bring up Juju Smith-Schuster. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in Pittsburgh. So much uncertainty around Antonio Brown. He may be the #1 in Pittsburgh after all. Really, really nice young man. Bigger than you think. I was surprised standing next to him to see how big he was.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, Ben Roethlisberger loved it.
Yeah.
You know, this past year, I mean, he said not only was he smart and athletic, but they started moving him in the slot. So he can handle a lot in that offense, which is when they do the up-tempo stuff, that's what they like to do. He's a perfect fit for that offensive system, what they're trying to do.
Here's a guy that gave a lot to that offense as well, James Conner.
You know, the thing about James Conner that is I'm so impressed with is that the Le'Veon Bell never went away. Yeah, that was the talk that everybody was talking about. Le'Veon Bell. And for him to go out and have that type of season with all that noise, you know, and never knowing if Bell was going to come back, because if he did, you couldn't keep that type of player off the field. And so Conner, you know, they say, block out the noise. And he's a big reason why they had success there and had a chance to get in the playoffs there at the end of the season. They came up short, but they found something in this young back.
3rd and 8 as Keenan Allen looked like he was right at the line to make there when he had the forward progress. And it is indeed a 1st down for the AFC. Of course, James Conner, the Pro Bowl selection coming 3 years after he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, has been cancer-free since 2016. And a real great moment this week as he was able to spend time with Jim Kelly, who, you know, just this month it was announced that he is also now cancer-free for the third time in his battle. Jim Kelly, one of the legend captains we have here with us. He's with DeMarcus Ware on the AFC side. Emmitt Smith, Brian Urlacher for the NFC. Here's a reverse, Tyreek Hill.
Good luck catching him.
As AFC offense continues to move.
That's what I mean. We could have saw some of that last week, baby. Belichick can't double that. Just get the ball in his hands. His ability to make people miss. He's a home run wherever he touches the football on the field. And I think, as we talked about earlier, as Kansas City digests that game this offseason, they're going to realize going into 2019, how can we become more creative getting our playmakers the ball? And number one has to be Tyreek Hill.
I don't know, Bog. I mean, they're pretty creative in what Andy Reid does. I think they need to focus on defensive backs.
Oh, but there's no doubt.
What they're going to have to do there, covering those guys down the stretch within 2 minutes to go in the game.
Here's Luck stepping up in the pocket and going downfield, trying to get it to Jarvis Landry.
And to your point, they made a move, getting rid of the defensive coordinator, Bob Sutton. And I understand if that's what they want to do in Kansas City. But what I will say is whoever, Steve Spagnuolo is now the defensive coordinator, they're going to have to get better on the back end, covering wide receivers. Tom Brady picked them apart. 3 third down and 10s. They couldn't get off the field.
And Andy Reid, you know, I went against him a lot when I was in Dallas. I mean, not only has he reinvented himself with this offensive system that he's done and how comfortable he is with Patrick Mahomes, but he has a formula. He knows what it is, right? And he's built that there in Kansas City. I think he's fully aware of what it's going to take to get this team over the hump as they move down there, because it isn't as easy as we all think it may be. But I just love Andy Reid, the respect that I have for him, the system that he's built. Yeah. Of course, it helps to have young superstars like Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. I sit here, I think about how different the conversation would be this week if D Ford is simply onside.
Agreed. Bob Sutton is probably in the Super Bowl. We're talking about, we're lauding his defense for picking Brady 3 times.
That's right.
You know that crushed D Ford.
Yeah, it did.
They're down in 10. Andrew Luck gets it complete again to Keenan Allen, who spins his way with a stiff arm push against Harrison Smith. And this will go for 22 yards. As we will hit the 2-minute warning, and the AFC looking for more, already up 2. See some of the high schools on the back of the helmets there. That was Saquon Barkley's Whitehall High School listed there. Lisa.
Hey, Tess, I'm with Disney's new Kim Possible, 16-year-old Sadie Stanley, and her character juggles being a normal teenager with fighting bad guys. She also is going to, right now, try out being a sideline reporter. Take it away, Sadie.
All right, I'll give it a shot. Hey, what's up? So I just want to know what it means.
I think she's learning the hard way there that mics can go out in rainstorms.
With Tom Shaw last year, so I got to see this all go take place and go down. So to actually be here is an honor.
So what's it like being here?
A year ago or two, watching those guys play in the NFL and wanting to be in the position and actually being here with them is definitely a cool experience. I would say Emmitt Smith. He's one of the Hall of Fame coaches, and he's one of the greatest running backs to ever play. And I love studying running backs, and I love this game, so I got time to sit down and talk to him for a little bit.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Well, thank you for letting me be your interviewer. This is so much fun, and good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's a great job by Sadie. Work through that. Audio issues and all. Don't task me with that. First and goal here for Luck and the AFC.
Sometimes you just got to improvise. You got to overcome it like that. She held on.
All right, here we go.
I like the fact that the NFC is starting to run some line stunts. I mean, if the offense can run RPOs, defensively, they can get a few line stunts, a little in-tackle games going on here.
You knew it was only a matter of time for Rod Marinelli, defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, to say, all right, we're not going to get shut out here. We're going to put a little pressure on these guys. I don't care if they call a flag on us.
14th play of the drive now for the AFC, with Andrew Luck going to the end zone and throwing it beyond and to the outside of Jared Cook. Looks a big 6'5" target. Second year with the Raiders. He had career highs in receptions, yards, and receiving touchdowns this year.
Just overthrew him just a little bit. Cook was trying to keep his feet in and extend. He's such a long, rangy target.
Right. Fix. So static left, strong flank, 73 double raffle, not HD. On, right? If I give you a thumbs up, we're on a corner.
I love it. I love it. Telling him, give him the corner. The nod route, that's the little stick nod inside.
Hey, Tyree.
Let's see if we get that thumbs up there.
170. Where's that?
So they're going to force out Miller right at the line of scrimmage. That was Darius Slay from the Lions who was on him. Let's listen in again to Andrew Luck.
Hey, 12, get out of there. Hey, let's go half left, 73 slugger, and let's just run a quick out over here with the fade. On, right? Post, Jarvis, post. Out.
Post, out.
Angle. Shug out. 170. We're called timeout, I think.
Delay a game. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Huddle up.
You know, these coaches give their system, so they call it 73 slugger, right? The 73 is the protection, the slugger's the route.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is you run a post, you run a flat, you run an angle route. He has to tag each guy. So let's hear it.
73 double goes H angle. On. Be ready, Jared. Second out.
Go halfback on the angle route here, huh?
That's right.
Tell Jared Cook to be ready.
Where's that?
And he stepped up, and waiting for him right there was Danielle Hunter, the Vikings defensive end who had 14.5 sacks this season. Talk about an athletic freak. Danielle Hunter at 6'5 plus and over 250. He's just got that amazing combo of size and speed.
You want him getting off the plane first.
Oh, I mean, he looks every bit the part when you see him. Coming up is the Pro Bowl halftime show with Susie Colbert. Conversation with Tom Brady and with Jared Goff as Matt Hasselbeck sits down with Jared Goff, who is the 4th youngest starting quarterback in Super Bowl history. The only younger quarterback, by the way, Ben Roethlisberger in 2005. Of course, Brady and Belichick, 9th Super Bowl appearance for that combo.
Which one?
Jason Myers comes in here, try to add to this lead, a 31-yard attempt. Guy who played at Marist and then broke into the NFL by way of a free agent kicking camp back in 2015. 17-0 AFC. Super Bowl 53, a week from today. Extending a few other records are the Patriots. The 11th appearance, the most in NFL history. Belichick's 9th Super Bowl, most in NFL history by a coach. Brady's 9th, most in NFL history for a quarterback. Remember those years where we used to have conversations about greatest of all time, greatest coach, all that?
Yeah.
Forget that.
Yeah,
that's gone. Those conversations ended long ago.
That ended a few years back.
Yeah. Remember that? You know, and we're going to talk a lot about the quarterbacks heading into Super Bowl 53. The team that can stop the run the best is going to have the best chance to win the football game, I think.
Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback for the NFC in these closing moments here of this first half.
Same play on the ball. Same play.
I think you got a timeout there.
Mitchell Trubisky, who stepped up this year, new coaching staff in Chicago, and became the first Bears quarterback to make the Pro Bowl since Jim McMahon back in 1986. That was the longest drought in the NFL in terms of a team and having a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Try and get it out of bounds.
You know, we give Andy Reid a lot for what Patrick Mahomes did and his MVP likely this year. What about what Matt Nagy did with Mitch Trubisky? The way he brought this young quarterback along, mixing in the RPOs, and then Mitch, the progress he made throughout the season was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, winning that division, it's a tough division. And he really developed. See him kind of gain confidence in the middle of the season.
Trubisky hit as he throws, and that should have been intercepted. But colliding there was Howard and Adams. Xavier Howard, the Dolphins corner, who had 7 picks this year, should have had one there. But Adams came in and made contact with his teammate.
They call that friendly fire, Tess.
Yeah, little AFC East meeting there with the wrong result for this AFC team in the Pro Bowl. That leaves 9 seconds before halftime. Remember the conversation with Goff and with Brady coming up as Susie will lead the way for the Pro Bowl halftime show.
Strikers, Z Sting. So you're going to see Cooper go on here. You're going to try to take a shot out deep to him. If not, throw it out of bounds quick to Kittle.
He tries to get quickly out to Adam Thielen, and that leaves 3 seconds on the clock. The Vikings receiver had 113 catches this year. He was sensational in the skills challenge the other day. How about the precision passing? He doubled up Andrew Luck's score.
He looked pretty good, man. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him throw a few passes next year up there in Minnesota. He was proud of that, you know, and stepped up big for him in that precision passing.
He hit that 5-point target that was hanging on the cable. That's the guy who never threw a pass in college or the NFL, and he was wowing people the other day in the skills challenge.
Something tells me he may throw one in this game.
Oh, I think we saw something in practice, didn't we, Booger?
Yeah, swing. Blue lady! Listen!
Trubisky, as he goes underneath to Kittle. And Kittle will step out with zeros on the clock. So Ebron had the touchdown. Sherman had the touchdown run. Myers the field goal, and it's 17.